03717223344. Let's start dissecting that defeat for Manchester United. Let's start with Stephen, who joins us on the phone. He was at the game as well. Good evening, Stephen.
Hi, good evening, guys. You okay?
Very good, Stephen.
Yeah, very good, Stephen. Listen, you was at the game. Beautiful tributes at the start for Sir Bobby. Did you feel, as a Manchester United fan, hopefully that could, rile up the team to bring that the spirit of Sir Bobby with them through a massive derby game, Steve?
No, not really, because it was such, first of all, well done to all the clubs, not just Manchester City as well. All the clubs over the weekend absolutely paid their respects. And I was quite emotional watching games yesterday and hearing them singing One Bobby Charlton was, for us, a lifelong United fan, was amazing. So it just shows what he meant to all of us. But I've got my son in the back of the car now. I'm taking him home, and he's 14. And we were at Sheffield United last week, and we're season ticket holders, and we just seen the same performance. I want to ask Alan, if I may, Alan, being an ex-manager, or you may still go back into management, and I'm not picking on the likes of Marcus Rashford, but Sheffield United last week in several games, Alan, do you think he's being told to stay wide? He's not pulling defenders. I look at the likes of Ollie Watkins. I know he's a striker, and I get that. But why is Marcus just staying wide and not running the channels and making players? We all know football. I've coached at under-12s, and you get players to just pull the back four apart. Ollie Watkins does it brilliantly. Marcus just looks so despondent, so uninterested. I just don't understand it. Can you explain that to me like I'm a 4-year-old? I don't understand that.
Okay, Steve, I'll do my best. I think a lot of Dutch football is about spreading the pitch, making the pitch really, really big when you have possession. Now, that might be one of the issues that he wants, Marcus. It's an actual order to keep the full width of the pitch, right? And if you're going to play internal fullbacks, then okay, that is an option. But we know, and you know as well as I do, and looking at Rashford, he wants really to go through the middle. That's the last thing he wants to do, is really keep the width. So that instruction, of course, me and you are not aware of. So I'm guessing that probably was an instruction. What worries me more about him, Stephen, and is his defensive work, right? Even for England, his defensive work, you have to compensate. So therefore, your central midfield three, you have to have somebody or maybe two in there that are going to compensate for the fact that he is not going to do the fullback at times. And that is not happening either. So you got a compounded problem there. And then in the second half, when Fernandes went wide right, you had that problem on the other side. So, for me, I thought it was fairly easy for Man City today to cause Man United a lot of problems. And that's the best answer I can give you, that it probably was a kind of tactical decision to play wide.
Can I just ask one question, one more? I know you've got loads of callers. It's quite funny that Alan says that, and absolutely, because I've quoted you, Alan, on X. So I said, Alan Pardew, and you'll remember this, Alan, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember, but you picked out Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford as not tracking back, and they're the weak links in the team, which I've been slaughtered for saying the same things, and I retweeted your video or whatever it was of it, and I said, look, Alan Pardew's an ex-manager, and we all know this tactical analysis now. So if you're an opposing manager, you're picking that out straight away. These boys are not going to track back. As soon as they lose the ball, they're not going to. This space is there. Now, if we're seeing that as fans, and we're nowhere near coached on your level, Alan, or Ten Hag's level, how is the manager not seeing that? We're all shouting today in the Stretford end. What is the manager seeing that we're not seeing when you've got Marcus throwing his hands in the air, despondent, not tracking back, as you rightly say? That's detrimental to the team. Yeah. And I don't want to pick on Marcus, but we're fans. I love this club. I play for this club for nothing. I'm too old now, but we play for this club for nothing. But we see these players that are on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week and just look disinterested in playing for the club.
I'll just go back to Marcus a little bit, because he's a great player. There's no doubt about that. And he has the quality and the technical ability and the physicality to play for Man United. There's no doubt about that. But he is not naturally a defender, and I don't think how many sessions you put on, Madge, Stephen.
It's not in there, is it?
It's not in him. But therefore you have to compensate for him. You let him play a little bit internal if he plays on the wide, and have a central midfield player covering up for him. And
you must have done it. tons of times in your career, Alan, where you've had a player who's got such quality going forward that you know that they're not going to cover that space, that you're going to, as you say, compensate for it.
Well, we had it at Newcastle when I had Papa Cisse and Demba Ba. We wasn't actually strong enough to play 4-4-2 against clubs. So Demba and Papa used to take turns playing on the side, but they would play slightly in field where they could be a second striker, but they had to do the job on the fullback. But they didn't have to come all the way back. So it was like a compensated position. And I've done that many times in my career. And Rashford, he hasn't really got... It doesn't seem to me that he has that same licence.